So lately, we've been getting a decent amount of stories about Pope Francis and priests and whatever else in the media again. And we just got this story about Pope Francis hitting his head on the Pope Mobile, getting a black eye or whatever else. And we also got a story about him saying that man is stupid if they think that these hurricanes aren't a sign of climate change and everything else. And we're supposed to, believe in climate change. The CC, right? CC, the Catholic Church. He just hit his head in, what's this town called? Cartagena, Colombia, the CC. Remember Christopher Columbus sent by the CC. C is the third letter, which is 33. 33, the highest degree of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Pope Francis, if you look Pope Francis up, you will find that not only is he the supposed first Jesuit Pope, he's also a Freemason. He's doing the hidden hand pose on the train and whatnot. The Freemasons, the Jesuits, they are, people who rule over us, and they use this system of gematria. And what gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words. And they code the media with this, and in my experience, I truly think that we all exist in this big matrix of a code, and these people understand it a lot better. They know how to manipulate it. They create these stories in the media such as this. It seems like such a small story, but lots of people will read it, and somehow it can change or alter our reality. Or something along the lines of that. But these people definitely understand this system, and they for sure code things by the numbers, or they understand why everything is coded by the numbers, and they know how to use it to their advantage and use it against the general population. So if you're still with me, I'll leave a link in the description of this video called How to Gematria. It's a 15-minute video. If you watch that video, it explains a ton more of what I'm talking about. And, you can apply it for yourself, But it's just the practice of coding numbers into words. It's not really that ridiculous when you think back at all of the other languages all throughout history, The Hebrew alphabet has a number assigned to the letter. The Greek alphabet, a number assigned to the letter. But anyway, in regards to this story, so we got this story on CNN, and just take out the key words here. Pope has bumpy day in Colombia. If you write out bumpy day in gematria, bumpy day equals 37. And, this story comes 3 months, 7 days before Pope Francis's birthday. And these things always sync up to the calendar. They sync up to certain events, mostly birthdays, but sometimes it syncs up to possibly the day that he became the Pope or something, that he's famous for. Which, by the way, if you don't think that they use numbers, like Pope Francis became the Pope on 3/1/3 of the year 13, 3/13/13, the mark of the beast, 600, 313, a lot like the date that he became the Pope. Remember, too, when he came to America on his 923rd day as Pope, and he went to the White House, according to the mainstream media, at 9:23 a.m.? And that's all, 9:23, also the 266th day of the year. He's the 266th Pope. It was super synced up to the Philadelphia train wreck. Philadelphia was even the last place that he visited while he was in the United States. But the Philadelphia train wreck happened at 9:23 p.m. You had the movie Trainwreck that came out later that summer, where the opening scene is Amy Schumer's character's 9 years old. The rest of the movie takes place 23 years later. The movie also stars LeBron James, and LeBron James in Jewish gematria. Type it out here. LeBron James, 923. The reason that the Golden State Warriors won that year is because Golden State equals 122 and 175. just like if you write out Pope Francis. The Kansas City Royals also won the World Series that year. Kansas City, 122. I talked about how the World Series and the NBA Finals were synced up to the royal family as well, and Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth II equals 168 in Gematria, just like Cleveland Cavaliers, who lost, just like the New York Mets, who lost in the World Series later that year. You know, it's all by the numbers. And if you watch the movie Trainwreck, the movie is all about pro New York Mets. And then the New York Mets, nobody thought that they would be in the World Series. It was the 111th World Series. New York equals 111. It came to an end on November 1st. That was the final game. 11-1. And the reason that the Mets lost was because their pitcher, Matt Harvey, wouldn't come out of the game. And he finally came out of the game after throwing 111 pitches. We just currently had Hurricane Harvey. Matt Harvey was the first pitcher to pitch in Houston against the Astros, right? Matt Harvey, just after Hurricane Harvey caused a big old flood in Houston. It's time to wake up. You know what? In regards to Jewish Gematria too, I'll just point it out really quick. Pope Francis equals 404. And he supposedly arrived in the United States at 4:04 p.m. And that was also the 404th year of the King James Bible. And there's also 404 chapters in the King James Bible. So just wanted to get the point across, you know, that these things are coded by the numbers. That's why they said bumpy day on CNN. And it was 3 months, 7 days before Pope Francis's birthday. This year, the Jesuit Anniversary, and Pope Francis is the first Jesuit Pope, but the Jesuit Anniversary is 81 days before the Pope Francis's 81st. And remember, Pope Francis left the United States on the Jesuit Anniversary in 2015, and then later that day we got the 4th blood moon of the Tetrad and all that. But anyway, back to the story then. So, you know, I pointed out it's also his final day in Colombia. If you write out final day, it equals 144. Cartagena, Colombia equals 144. It's all about the CC stuff. You know, Colombia named in honor of Christopher Columbus that was sent by the Catholic Church. Cartagena, Colombia. The CC. Pope Francis says he also began his trip to Colombia on September 6th, which is interesting because the word Freemason equals 96, a lot like 9/6. But it was also 3 months, 12 days before his birthday. His real name is Jorge Mario Bergoglio, that equals 312. So he began his big trip to Colombia 312 days, or 3 months, 12 days before his birthday. His name equals 312. The word Pope equals 312. This year will be the 477th anniversary of the Jesuit Anniversary, or of the Jesuits. If you write out 477, it equals 312. They were founded by Ignatius of Loyola, who became a saint on March 12th, 312. Also, Francis Xavier. Pope Francis supposedly named after Sir Francis of Assisi, the first guy to receive the stigmata, but most likely named after this guy because he's the first Jesuit Pope. But notice this guy died on December 3rd, which in most parts of the world they even read it 3/12, a lot like 312. It's an important number to the Jesuits. For whatever the reason, I'm still trying to figure that out, but it's a number I've documented a whole lot in regards to popes. The Jesuits, 312. A number to look out for. I also pointed out that Jesuits equal 103. And he began his trip 103 days before his birthday. And it was 21 days before the 477th anniversary of the Jesuits. Jesuit equals 21. Saturn equals 21. Saturn's who they worship, you know. Saturn is the god of the Old Testament. Saturn is the god that, you know, they teach you to worship in the Catholic Church, but you don't realize it. So let's look at another story that we got about Pope Francis today. He was talking about climate change, CC, right? Climate change, CC. Once again, the CC, Catholic Church, Christopher Columbus. Ridiculous, you know. But Pope Francis said that hurricanes show humanity will go down if we don't address climate change, right? Well, go down in gematria equals 78 and 84 in the reverse. Jesuit equals 84 and 78 in reverse. The opposite of what they highlight in this article, go down, because they're always coded this way. That's why they highlight certain phrases. And if you write out hurricane, it equals 52, and the reverse way, 56. Society of Jesus equals 56. The word Pope equals 52, and 56 in reverse, identical to hurricane. Climate change equals 56. If you go back to 2015, right after the Paris attacks, Obama went to Paris, and they had the climate change meeting or whatever, and the big deal in the news was that Obama went 15 minutes over schedule. Well, president equals 56, over schedule equals 56, 15 minutes equals 56. It was just after the Paris, France ISIS attack. Paris, France equals 56, ISIS equals 56. What are the odds of that, you know? I mean, all throughout history, all these bad things all synced up to 56. ISIS, Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, Adolf Hitler, they all equal 56. Black Lives Matter was something that was big around that time as well. Black Lives Matter equal 56. The Declaration of Independence signed by 56 signers. John Hancock, the first to sign it to die, or died at age 56. The last guy to die who signed it, Charles Carroll III, died 56 years later. He's in the movie National Treasure, where they make Freemasons. They try to make Freemasons look like good people. He's the one who passed the Secret Lives of Charlotte on. Charles Carroll, CC, and he's also the third, 333. Also, I want to point out that supposedly Pope Francis said that man is stupid. Man is stupid. Referencing a passage in the Old Testament. What passage? I don't have a clue, but... And then he also said, when you don't want to see, you don't see. Well, look at this. Look at these in gematria. This is why you said these. Man is stupid equals 71 and 145. The word Catholic, 71, 145. When you don't want to see, you don't see, 132. Catholic Church equals 132. Roman Catholic equals 132. I've talked about how the Church of England, the King James Bible, that it's all interrelated and it's all one and the same thing. They want you to think that there's some type of division. It's all one and the same, and it's just keeping people divided and believing in the same thing that is, all part of the same system. But anyway, Queen Elizabeth became the queen 132 days after the Jesuit Anniversary. England equals 132. United States of America equals 132. Royal family equals 56. King James Bible equals 56. I mean, this is all coded by the numbers, always. I also pointed out, in regards to all these CCs, climate change, Catholic Church, Christopher Columbus, Cartagena, Colombia, the word, if you write out go down, it equals 33s, like CC, and that was the big thing up here. Go down the small way equals 33. But, leaving the video like that, hopefully I made enough sense. Check out the video in the description. Apply it for yourself. These media stories are coded this way every single day, all throughout history. Everything coded the same way. So, have a good one. Peace.